Good afternoon, bowling fans. Here we are at Jefferson Manor Lanes for the Anthony K. Memorials, the Michiana Bowlers Association. I'm Bob King along with Randy Harvey. And Randy, we've had some humongous scoring. I know we've talked about the big scoring before, but we've had two 300 games. We've had two 299s, an 800, and we've got two four-time champions in our field, and 4 out of the 5 are throwing from your side, the port side.
That's very interesting, Bob. And also, we might mention that 3 of the finals have already bowled in the finals this year, and that was when the left side dominated as well.
Well, Randy, why don't we go ahead and meet the 5 finalists?
Okay, in our first match, qualifying 5th from LaPorte, Indiana, he's been in the finals 3 times this year, finished 2nd at Quicks, averaged 229, Ron Jonas. And he'll be bowling the 4th qualifier, only right-hander in our field today from Warsaw. He had 8-11 2 weeks ago. Like I said, from Warsaw, Roger Hyde. The winner of that match will bowl the rookie in our field. He's from Sturgis, Michigan. He's had a high game of 298, Bill Burke. The winner of that match will then bowl our 2nd qualifier. He bowled his 4th 800 today, his highest one of 813. Also had 300 today, averaged 233 from Elkhart, Jim Rao. And our leader, who set a new record of averaging 255 plus, had his 3rd 300 this weekend. He's a 4-time champion, Rick Wise.
Well, Randy, a truly star-studded field, and we'll be right back to see who's going to be the new Anthony K. Memorial champion right after this short timeout.
Memorial art takes many forms. Anthony K. Memorials has the largest display of traditional, contemporary, and bronze memorials in this area. With no obligation, we would like to answer your questions and show you that the selection of a tribute can be done in a dignified and gratifying way. Anthony K. is the ideal source for expert design counseling. We're professionals who have the expertise to assist you in designing a memorial. Please allow us the opportunity to meet you and help you with your needs. Because you care, we care. We're Anthony K. Memorials.
Looking for just the right pair of bowling shoes? Or how about a shirt, or possibly a ball or a bag? Chippewa Pro Shop, located inside the Chippewa Bowl, is your bowling headquarters. Chippewa Pro Shop carries a complete line of name-brand supplies and equipment to improve your skills and enhance your fun. Need professional service? Chippewa Pro has that too, including custom fitting your ball. Remember, for complete one-stop shopping, visit the Chippewa Pro Shop or call 291-9563.
The friendly parts team at Peatfall Ford, 2525 Bypass Road, Elkhart, invites you to stop in the next time your Ford car or truck needs replacement parts or accessories. With their award-winning parts team and the largest computer-controlled inventory in the area, Peatfall Ford will help you get back on the road in no time. Peatfall Ford and their friendly parts team stand ready to help you Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. until 5:30 p.m., and Saturdays, 8 a.m. until noon. It's Peatfall Ford, 2525 Bypass Road in Elkhart.
And we're back, bowling fans. The first match of the evening of the Anthony K. Memorials Open here at Jefferson Manor Lanes. We find Ron Jonas, a lefty, 200 class, against Roger Hyde, also from the 200 class. Ron Jonas will be making the first shot on lane 5.
I look for some high scores today, Bob.
And there's what we've seen a lot of this weekend, a big strike for Ron Jonas to open the match.
Yeah, an excellent shot there, Bob, to open the match. As the folks might notice out there, all the bowlers will be playing the extreme outside line, which seemed to be the best line to play here at Jefferson Manor. In fact, Roger Hyde made a comment to me that he's made the finals with Jonas and Rao, and Rao won in LaPorte. And he likes the outside line from the right side, which seems to be conducive for the lefties. Let's see how he does on his first shot.
Oh, yes, he left that a little wide, Randy, but he got the break on the roll.
Yeah, as we both know, since we bowl here on Tuesday night in league, that the light hits with the right ball speed will definitely carry very well here at Jefferson.
That's for sure.
Well, might also mention that the surface here is different than we're used to. only one of the two of the synthetic surfaces that we bowl on in the MBA, the other one being Thunderbird with the new Murray lane over there. And this is, they call this permalane.
That's right.
It's an older installation, but as you can tell from the scores, it works real well.
Roger Hyde, frame number 2. And that one a little high.
I think got a little soft with that one. Had a good follow through. Must have got it inside a target. And the result is a 610. I'm sure Roger will move to the extreme left-hand side of the lane to convert this. And hardest thing about this, Bob, is to try to make sure you don't pick one of the pins off the other.
So he may use a little more speed on this shot to try to cut down the chances of that happening.
Right, keep the ball straighter. And
he almost picked it off, like he said, but he does convert the 610. So Roger Hyde will be showing 20 in the first.
That's one thing when there appear to be a little bit drier outside. The corner pin spares can be a little bit more difficult, and it is easier to chop them when they're dry outside.
And a big strike for Ron Jonas.
Starts out with a double, Bob.
Well, there's no handicap in this match, Randy, because both bowlers are very evenly matched as far as their average for the tournament. We mentioned that Roger Hyde was at 230. There, our scoreboard shows you the double for Jonas, and Hyde showing 20 in the first with a spare. And 229 was Ron Jonas's average, and we take 70% of the difference of those and round it to the pin, of course, without carrying it up to the next pin. In other words, he gets no handicap,
right.
Either player. Ron Jonas, frame number 3, and a big turkey.
I'm sure Roger will get back in the groove here, and like we mentioned, he's got the whole right side to himself. That's a little bit unusual from normal, if there is a normal, right?
Yeah, it is unusual, Randy. And we talked about that normally here at Jefferson Manor, obviously a very good shot, and it's a good shot for everybody, but for some reason this month, it just turned out that it was maybe just a little bit sweeter for the lefties, but again, they had to throw the ball and they had to get here, and that's to their credit, no doubt about it.
You bet.
That one was way out, Randy.
And as a result, the ball seems to come back very consistently outside, kick the 10 out, and he has 40 in the second frame, which puts him 20 pins down 10 down. No, he is 20 down, that's right.
Right, 20
pins down at this point.
Well, in order to get to this match, Ron Jonas, of course, who is sitting on the bench at the moment, had to bowl another bowler who bowled very well. Bruce Rendox averaged 244 for the tournament, but he lost a heartbreaker to Ron Jonas, 245 to 236, and henceforth, Ron Jonas is bowling Roger Hyde.
Excellent shot.
That was a beautiful ball, Randy. Just took a nice arc into the pocket.
Yeah, took 10 pins off that lead at this point. We'll see how Ron responds. I'm sure we'll see most of the time that all the bowlers be pretty close to the pocket today, Bob. Even our rookie and Mr. Burke that'll be up in their next match.
Well, he certainly bowled very well, and maybe a little unexpectedly for some people, but certainly not for him. Another strike for Ron Jonas, number 4.
It appears here, well, here's some of our other finishers. Steve Waller's 32nd, Ray Cassini 31st, Denny Marsh 30th, Kurt Jones 29th, 28th Kevin Carner, 27th Mike Scanlon, and 26th Barb Ladow.
Well, Randy, do you think it's too early to think about a 300? We've had 2 of them already this weekend.
No, I don't think so. I think any match today you could definitely see one, and just as we say that... I
shouldn't have said it. Doggone it, it happens every time.
I was just going to continue to say if we don't see one, it'll probably be from a corner pin or from a 4 or 6 pin, depending on... And another thing sometimes here, it seems light hit carries well here. And I know personally I've left a lot of 10 pins from the left side on light hits, so that would be one that we could look for as well.
So probably a corner pin would be the stopper. And Ron Jonas safely puts away the 7 pin in the 5th frame, showing 109. And that lead currently sitting at 9 pins. Excuse me, 19 pins. But Roger Hyde, stepping up right now, can cut that to 9 pins and even take the lead if he catch a double here.
That's right, Bob.
Well, the other, we mentioned there were two 299s. One of those was by Bruce Rendox, who we mentioned just a couple of minutes ago, and the other was by Bob Weiland, who is our most prolific champion with 6 championships to his credit.
Great shot. Got the lead to 9 pins, Bob.
Well, it's pretty much a brand new ball game. At this pace right now, Roger Hyde, I hate to keep talking these great big numbers, but that's what we've had all weekend,
That's
so we
right.
have to look for that. Roger Hyde could shoot 270 and Ron Jonas could shoot 279, and that'd be a heck of a way to start. There's a shot of Ron Jonas.
I think he's just trying to concentrate on his game at hand. As we both know, there's no defense to this crazy game.
I think that's what everybody had to do this weekend. If you start looking at the numbers that everybody else is shooting, it could get you psyched out in a hurry. Tremendous follow through by Roger Hyde.
Excellent shot.
Another big strike. So Roger Hyde, with that strike in the 6th, takes over a lead by 1 pin. And Ron Jonas will be coming up now to see if he can match that strike and stay with him.
You mentioned earlier at the 270, I think Roger could shoot 280.
Right.
And
Oh,
Jonas
did I say
could.
270? I'm sorry.
Yeah, and he's back in it.
Another strike.
Yeah.
Ron Jonas.
It's
5 out of 6 apiece.
Yeah, you think about that, Bob. He hasn't missed a pocket, left a 7 pin, and he's 1 pin down.
That's right.
Now let's see if he can carry that 7 pin and retake the lead.
Very close match and a lot of strikes so far, and that's exactly what we expected.
And we might mention that Ron is definitely in contention for Bowler of the Year with our new point system. This is his 3rd time in the finals. Oh.
And there's a shot that Ron certainly didn't want to leave. Looked like he might have, got that out a little further and let up on his speed a little bit.
It appeared that's what he did, Bob, because here, outside of the first arrow, the farther you get it out there, the more it will respond. And if you do that and get soft with it as well, it's definitely going to go high and go through the nose.
Well, he's got the 4.67, and it's going to take a miracle to pick this one up.
Yeah.
And he takes 2. That's the smart thing to do. You never know what's going to happen.
Right, especially when you're on a strike, Bob, because you get those 2 pins, that's worth 4. Where if you go to shoot that, which is, like you said, you almost have to get lucky there because the 4 and 6 are straight across from each other, so you have to hope that one of the pins comes out of the pit to pick that up. So he did the right thing there and didn't lose any count, basically.
So with that open frame, Randy, it looks like Roger Hyde now has a 13-pin lead, and he can stretch that out here.
Right out to the ditch. Oh.
That one was just a little bit too light.
Right. Well, he got that wide, but was firm with it, so the ball went a little farther down the lane, came back a little late, and left 7 pin, which is, like we said, on light hits, you do leave the opposite corner pin of normal sometimes, but it's a relatively easy spare, and he does maintain his lead. We did mention in the introductions, Roger had his first 800 series 2 weeks ago of 811, so he has been bowling well lately.
And he sure showed it this weekend so far. And he puts away the 7 pin. Roger Hyde, as our scoreboard will show you, 149 in the 6th with a spare up. There you see it. Potential 169, so that gives him a 12-pin lead, and it's still wide open with 3 frames to go.
Sure is, Bob.
We'd like to thank the Kay family, Carl Kay, Aunt Michaeline, and their 3 lovely daughters, Kim, Carolyn, and Carlene, for sponsoring this tournament. They've been with us from the start, and of course, Carl recovering from some surgery, and he's doing very well, and we're glad that they can all be here today.
Sure are, Bob. They're a great credit to the game and to themselves. Carl's had some rough times, and he's coming back.
He's on the way back,
Yeah.
and he said he's going to be tougher than ever next year.
You
so.
bet.
And we see Roger Hyde leaving a solid 10-pin. in the 8th frame, and that is a crucial non-strike, Randy, because that gives Ron Jonas a chance to jump right back in here.
Sure does. That's called like the pre-load-up frame,
That's
like
right.
the 9th frame. That's a very critical frame. Pick up 90 pins in the last 3 frames, no matter what you did the frames before that.
Exactly.
See if he can get Kurt to 10 to keep his lead. Ooh.
Just does get it. Looked like he slipped a little
Yeah,
bit there
sure
at the
did.
line.
If you didn't have good balance at the line, you do have a tendency to pull the ball when you get in that position.
Now that's
But he was
because of
fortunate.
yeah, that's right. The permalane, as most of you know, is a little bit slicker surface. This isn't nearly as slick as it was 10 years ago, but it's still a little slippery out there, like you said, if you get off balance.
Sure can be. When he goes high again, leaves a 4-6.
Well, that's, again, not what Ron Jonas looked to do. And he's really opened the floodgates now.
Still has an outside chance if he can set one up in the 9th frame.
I think he'll throw a little harder on this shot, try to bounce it out of there. Well, it doesn't bounce out, and he shows an open in the 8th frame, 166. And that gives Roger Hyde a 22-pin lead.
It's almost a must-strike situation here, Bob, to have an outside chance.
There the scoreboard shows you.
As you know, in the match that Ron won to get here, it's not over till it's over. Bruce Rendox got up in the 10th frame. All he needed was a mark to win, left the baby split, and lost.
That's right.
So you never know. See what Ron does in the 9th frame.
Much better shot. That's the way he wants to deliver the ball and get the strike. So if he could strike out, he would at least force Roger to keep on marking with good counts to win.
Yes, he has a potential 228, or 226, excuse me. And if Roger spares out, he could force him to, depending on the count. You never know what might happen.
That's right. So it's not over yet. Roger Hyde in the all-important 9th frame on lane 6.
Notice Roger has definitely been working on his game. At the finish, he's almost in perfect position with a great follow through. He's got his weight back, up and through the shot. See, the result is a strike.
Yes, just taps out the 10-pin. A big strike for Roger Hyde, setting up the 9th frame for a possible big finish in the 10th. 188 in the 8th. Ron Jonas 166 in the 8th. So a 22-pin lead for Roger Hyde.
These are definitely a couple of bowlers you could take some lessons from on style. They both have very good form, good release, good positioning at the line, which is the most important part. They're both solid at the line, very little head movement, and the results are good scores.
So for all you beginning bowlers out there, whether you're right-handed or left-handed, pay heed to these two bowlers because they do have classic styles. Big strike there, Randy.
Big strike. That all he has to do now is stay behind the foul line, Bob, and the match is over.
That's right. With that strike, Roger Hyde will be in the 230s. Another one will give him a 240-something game. And, of course, the best that Ron Jonas can do is 226. And I'm sure he's thinking right now, why did I ever let that ball come on the nose?
Yep, 2 in a row there, 2 bad shots. And sometimes you can get away with 1, but with the conditions like they are today, two mistakes just is about, you just can't handle that.
You're going to get buried.
And the result is a loss, but he bowled well this week. Average 229 and end up 5th. He can hold his head high for sure.
That's right. Another big strike for Roger Hyde, and that puts it away. With another strike, he'll have 248.
A great start, like we said, and I'm sure this is only the beginning of the scores to come today.
Well, I'll tell you, when you got guys averaging 230, 240, 250, that's just incredible, unbelievable.
It's a credit to the house, and it's also a credit to the person to be able to consistently roll the ball that good that many games.
That's exactly right. I think that sometimes we might get a little jaded as the viewing public and think that the lanes are easy and that all you have to do is kick the ball down there and they'll get strikes. But the lanes may be good, but you still have to bowl and you still have to handle the pressure because you know that the other people are bowling well too.
That's right, Bob.
And,
And Ron Jonas proved it. You know, made a couple bad shots. The ball just didn't set in the pocket. It went through the nose. Here in the 10th, he got a little soft again and left a 2.47. Of course, mentally, I'm sure he's pretty drained now and just wants to get it over with since he knew it was over. And he
there we
opens
have
the
it.
10th.
That's right. He opens the 10th. Didn't matter, though. Ron Jonas, 194. Roger Hyde, 248. And we'll be right back with our second match when Roger Hyde will take on Sturgis Bilbert. We'll be right back.